Hello Piscator pals, welcome to the channel. Today I'm at Angler's Paradise, the world famous Angler's Paradise, and I'm heading down the hill to the main carp lake. It's fairly sunny, you can see. It was really rainy earlier on, it's extremely windy, so not ideal for what I'm about to do, which is surface fishing. But I'm heading down to the main carp lake, right down the bottom of the hill. My stuff's blowing away on my trolley. Oh, blimey. To see if I can catch a species of fish here I don't normally target, and that's a carp. And I'm after a decent carp, ready luck. But we're going to head down the hill now, look at all the lakes on the way down, and see what we can see. Oh, blimey. So the first lake we go past, right at the top of the hill, is the Easy Access Lake. Easy access because, well, it's just right here by the car park. Fantastic. Requires no effort to get to at all. Packed full of, again, beautiful carp. There's tench and ridden and orfe and all sorts in here. But a lot of people come in here for the carp. In the old days, it was carp and catfish, but those catfish now reside here on the Easy Cat Lake, a brand new lake to the Angler's Paradise Holiday Complex. Packed full of catfish, currently at the moment to about £25, but if you've never ever caught a catfish, this is the place to come. The next lake you come to, down the hill, is the Specimen Tench and Orfe Lake, where you can catch massive golden orfe, blue orfe, golden tench, blue tench. There's a few rudd in there as well. There's also a great big sucking carp in there. There's a few grass carp. It's all sorts of things in there, but it's mainly full of big tench and big orfe. Perfect for a specimen hunter and for people who are after that free bottle of wine you get when you get a £5 plus orfe and a £5 plus tench. There's a nice little bonus prize. This is the next lake down the hill, the Beginner's Carp Lake, stuffed full of carp, mirrors, commons, levers, a few ghosties in there, absolutely rammed to the rafters full of them. A real confidence booster of a lake. Nothing ginormous, but they'll certainly give your rod a good bending in here, trust me. Octopussy is the next lake down the hill, with all its little channels and gullies that spread throughout the place, where you can mooch around and hunt for those big catfish that are in here. Big beasties. You could put a saddle on them and ride them home, they're that big. And loads of big carp in here too. A few of the other species of fish as well. And also, this is where all the eels go when they get caught in other lakes. They go into there. So there's every chance of catching a really decent eel as well. So I'm told anyway. Not that I've ever caught one here at Angler's Paradise. Anyway, this is the last lake before we get down to Maine. So, whew, let's get going. So here it is, the main lake, the main carp lake here at Angler's Paradise. This is the oldest lake here. When Zig and Rose moved here all those years ago, this is the original lake that the place started with, the OG. The carp in here are the oldest carp that Angler's Paradise have to offer. 20-30 pounders, loads of them. Catfish in here. There's fish above 90 pounds, that is, not 90 grams, 90 pounds in weight, up to 100. I don't know if there is 100, I think there is 100 in there now, I'm not sure, but very close, if not 99 at least. Over here, you can see that white building there, that is the boathouse, Oh, just knocked the camera stand with my boot, that's why I did that. That's Zig's special fishing area where only he gets to fish. It's all roped off. It's a really nice spot. Big area. There's a riverbed which runs, a river flows right through the centre, gives it a nice deep channel which goes through. You've got the islands dotted all around the place, the deeper areas being over that side and the shallow area being just the other side over there, which is where hopefully I'm going to be heading. But I'm going to have a little wander around the lake, have a little look, see what's been going on here since my last visit, because this place always changes, moves around, and then I'm going to try and catch a carp out of here. I laugh because it's going to be very difficult for me anyway. Again, surface fishing is what I've decided. I kicked it again. Why did I do that? Surface fishing is what I'm hoping to be doing today. And look at it, it's like the sea out there. The wind's bursting through and it's like an ocean. Oh dear, it's not going to be good. But hey, we'll give it a try, eh? We'll give it a try. Why's my hat on so weird? It is windy, but still, shouldn't be doing that. Anyway, so I've made my way over on the main lake to an area where I like to do a little bit of stalking. It's undergone some reshaping recently, and a couple of my favourite swims have completely disappeared, which is a bit disappointing. But you know, in the face of adversity, I will try. I used to like going down here on this edge here, and I suppose I still could, but it's very steep now. The sort of swim's been taken out, and it's got a solid bottom to it, so I reckon I could get down there. But this is a really shallow area of the lake. There's a channel which comes in through here, look behind me, and carp come through here and cruise along and out through into the main area of the lake through that way. There used to be a lot of trees over on that little islandy spit thing there, overhanging trees, and you know, you could get a lot of big carp hiding under them, but they've gone. Which is a bit like, oh my god, I've got to rethink all my plans. But there are still carp about. I can see a few fish moving. I imagine they've come in here. The water, with the wind, the water's coming in through here and sort of flowing through and heading out that way. So they've come in for a little bit of a breather, I think, out the way of the main flow of the wind. I popped a few dog biscuits out into some likely areas. There are a few smaller carp out there. Now, I'm not really much of a carper. The carp boys that come down, especially the 5Cs, all sit over in the swims across the other side and fish with them day in, day out. That's not really me. It's not really my style. I don't really go in for carping so much. And every now and then I do like to go out for like 24 hours, whack up the bivvy, get the gas stove going, have a little chill out, and maybe catch the odd carp here and there. But I've never really wanted to do it here at Angler's Paradise. There's too many fish to catch, too many ornamental fish which I get distracted by. And because of that, the poor old main lake here gets kind of a bit ignored by me. It's a shame really, because it's the crowning jewel of the fishery. Having said that, I've fished here 3 times before. The first time I came down and I fished actually just the other side of there, just the other side of that little islandy thing we were at earlier on. And just in that little gap between the island and the bank there, just actually right there, I popped out a few boilies, and then a bit further out into the middle, and in the deeper water, I got some really big, huge, ginormous pellets, 2 of them, whacked them on a hair rig and chucked them out with some of the ginormous catfish. That day I spent all day here and caught a carp, well I can measure it, about that big on the boilies. That was it for the whole day. Failure. Second time I came down, I fished in this bay area down around here with my good friend, an everyday angler, and I think, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong, I think we did catch a smallish carp each. Just a couple of little tiddlers, not as small as the one which I had when I was down here the first time, but I have recollections of catching a small carp. But I also have a recollection of putting a bit of bread in front of what was easily a 30-pound carp, and it coming up, sniffing it, mouthing it, and then swimming away. I'm sure an everyday angler Ara will remember that as well, as our hearts were up in our throats. Exciting stuff. And I've come down here on a separate occasion on my own and caught absolutely nothing. So today I want to try and remedy that. I want to hit this area like I don't know, a fat man chasing an ice cream truck, and me. And I want to pull out a carp of a decent size. What I'll consider to be a decent size, I'll decide at the time, I think. But obviously it'd be nice to get one of the 20-pounders out. But I mean, a double would be equally good. I mean, the wind is horrendous, so I'm not sure how it's going to go. But surface fishing in this wind, what am I doing? But it might, I don't know, perhaps the carp will think, hey, no one would surface fish in this wind, that'd be absolutely crazy. And there you go, this is how we sneak in and get them. The area in the bay is quiet. It's quite a fish, but it's quite a wind. The breeze isn't hitting, about hitting that bush. It's not really hitting the water, if you can see. So, I don't know. We'll give it a go. I'd like a double. I'd like a, just to be honest, I'd like a carp bigger than the smallest carp, but the biggest of the small carp I've caught here. Anything above like 5 pounds, I think, would be amazing. But hey, we'll give it a go. I apologise for the wind if it's blowing into the microphone. There's no shelter here at all. The trees are gone. This was all trees when I was a boy. So it's out in the open. What am I doing? I should be somewhere else. But hey, we want a carp from the main lake to show you. That's the plan. I've got to quieten down, sneak about behind this nothing, and down the bushes, behind these little bushes, and see what I can winkle out. Could be tricky. God, this wind doesn't let up. Now I've been feeding some floating dog biscuits into a couple of areas in that bay area for, I haven't got a watch, but it's on the phone, about an hour now, and I've managed to get, miraculously, I've managed to get like 2 fish I've seen milling around. I'm not entirely sure what size they are. One of them looked like a double for sure, but I'm not sure what about the other one. The water's a bit murky and it hasn't really sort of, they're not feeding voraciously for them. It's hard to know what to do really, whether to keep feeding them, to get a bit more confidence, that would maybe pull another fish in, or whether just to sneak in like a little bit of bread or a hookable dog biscuit and pop in. The water's just over there, look, it's actually, it's actually right over there. Don't know, but I'm surprised I've got them up to the surface, to be honest, so that's part of the battle. It's blowing a gale. It's it's absolute madness down here. I'm hiding behind this bush to get a bit of cover and out of the breeze to try and talk to you. I guess we'll see how it goes. I've got a 12-pound line on. I've got a big old hook on, just in case I do catch a really big fish. I think I'll just give it a go. I think I might just, I'm going to stop feeding and I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to put it out there and see how they react to a bait. Wind. It's wind. I left my camera on the stand for like 5 minutes to get a little shot. It's fallen over and cracked. Classic. Nah, it's not too bad. It's just chipped some of the paintwork. The fish that were here, those 2 fish, have just gone, disappeared. Don't know where they've gone to. I've been keeping low to the ground. I'm sat on the ground now, but there's no cover here to get behind, so it's probably me that spooked them away, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is just sit here nice and quiet, become part of the foliage once more, and then I'll spread a dog biscuit out. But I don't think they're really feeding on the dog biscuits. I can see quite, I didn't put out very many, but I can see them on the surface amongst the leaves. They sort of left them untouched. The adventure continues. See if I can pick one up. If not, plenty of other lakes I can go to catch carp on here. They're everywhere. Specimen carp, Guinness carp, octopusy, easy access. Oh, they're everywhere. But it would be really nice to get one of these fish. Just watch and wait, I guess. Watch and wait. And keep out the way of the wind. But hey, at least it's not raining. Okay, let me get into position. So I'm sat a little bit further back. And see what we can get. Is that one over there? Yeah, ooh, perhaps that one's a better one. It's certainly easier to get to. Yeah, let's go for that one. Oh. Oh my god. God, I didn't know what to say. That was... we'll get the fish in, we'll talk about it later. Right. Fish is okay there for now. I've got a mat over behind some trees out the way with a bucket of water to keep chucking over the fish. To try and keep it wet and moist. I'll grab the stand, I'll grab the fish, I'll grab you, I'll meet you over the other side. Whew. Oh, there we go. I've just really quickly weighed this fish, covered in water, nice and safe. I'm going to lift her up to show you guys my first ever 20-pound plus carp from Angler's Paradise. 20 pounds and 2 ounces. Absolutely amazing. Can't believe I've put off fishing the main lake properly for so long. What a ginormous fish, and a spectacular fish. Anyway, I've weighed it, I'm showing you. Now I'm going to pop her straight back into the water. Fantastic. I'm not out of breath through running around and doing things really quickly. I'm out of breath because my heart is racing. The excitement of it. Oh, could calm down a bit now. I'm covered in fish slime. This really was going to last the rest of the week. The fish at the moment is resting in the margins, letting her get her breath back. She's only been out the water for like, what, 2 minutes at most. I was quick off the mark, had everything set up, ready to go just in case I caught one, which was great. Which means I could get her straight out of water, straight in, unhooked, weighed, photographed, videoed. Now she's back in the edge here, just chilling out. Probably the quickest I've ever got a fish out of the water and back in the water again, of this size anyway, this size fish. Amazing. Whew. To be fair, the fish doesn't need a rest, she's ready to go. It's me who needs to calm down a bit first. So, she did no harm sat here, but let's get her back into the lake. See, I've calmed down a bit now. That was so exciting. Actually hooked the fish. See where that little weird loggy twig thing is in the water? Just under there. I was actually struggling to get the bait out to where I wanted it. I think a lot because of the wind. And also because I'm literally using rod, reel, line, hook. That's it. The only weight I have is the hook itself and the floating dog biscuits I've been hooking. Oh. These little guys, and it's pretty light, so I had to do several practice casts to get it anywhere near the far bank where the fish are feeding. I've been watching these fish for, well, it won't show it on here, I've been watching them for about 2.5 hours, and I was watching their behaviour and their mannerisms, and they were only really taking anything that was right close to that far bank. Anyway, from underneath this overhanging branch just here, I saw a fish moving across to this log. That sort of brown chestnutty colour we saw on the side of the fish. I was like, that's it, that's my only chance. So no overhanging, no overcasting, had to be all under work, so I whipped the rod round from underneath. It spun back underneath that, well, not underneath it, but very, very near to that log, sort of there. And within 30 seconds, the fish turned, went for it, didn't take it. The wafter floated about 4 inches ahead of the fish. The fish sort of backed up a bit, considered, you could see it. Perhaps I'm anthropomorphising, but it considered it. I thought, yeah, okay. Went up, took it straight like that. In a fraction of a second, I struck into the fish. You were on the floor, the camera, so I quickly bent down, pressed the button, record, and that's what you saw. Mostly the sky and my shadow, my silhouette. The fish then darted off around over here, right round into this bay around here. It's like thrashing around in the edge. So I had to drag you down here, down the bank, to get a better angle on the fish. To better pull it out from the edge here into the open water, where I could play it properly, keeping it away from the little bunches of lily pads, and land it. Luckily, well, not luckily at all. So there should be no luck, I should say. I was going to say luckily I had everything set up on the bank, but for any angler there should be no luck involved. Always assume you're going to catch a fish and have everything ready. The only thing I had to grab was my stand to bring over to the unhooking area, which is put behind these trees out the way. I had the mat already set up, the weigh sling already set up, the weigh scale was already set up, which I've even pre-weighed the wet net, so I didn't need to faff around messing around with a wet net. I mean, I've only got a little tub, but I've got a tub of water, which is all over the place now, to cover the fish, to keep it wet whilst it's on the bank. 'Cause, I mean, it was only out for a couple of minutes, but still, you should always have, especially with big fish, you should always have a little tub of water next to you, lake water, or sometimes I use like a little water bottle, like an old Coke bottle or something, just to have a receptacle to put water in, to pour over the fish, to keep it moist. So by doing that, you could weigh the fish immediately, whack you down on the ground, show you the fish, put them straight back into the water. The reason these fish in here have lasted for so long and in such good condition as that fish was, is because of us anglers taking care of them and looking after them. But that shouldn't matter as to whether that's any size fish, and not just because it's a carp. Any fish deserves the care and respect, as much as you can give them anyway. I generally have a little bucket of water next to me, even if I'm holding little teeny tiny fish. If they're flipping around and messing around, sometimes I'll have a little bucket of water next to me, a little bait tub like that, and I'll just pop the fish in it for a little bit, keep it wet, bring it back up for a minute. If it's jumping around, I'll put it back in there, bring it back out, just to keep it wet and keep it moist. Try not to keep them out of water too long. I'm exhausted now. Now what do I do? Try and find another one, I suppose. But you know, I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. I don't think I'm going to catch any more out of this area. That fish really went for it. So perhaps I'll have a little wander around back to where I was earlier on. See if I can see any. And do you know what? I wasn't even very well hidden up on here, was I? That fish could see me. Because I'm not exactly Mr. Inconspicuous on this little spit, am I? It obviously just didn't care. It was like, oh, I'd rather have a dog biscuit. Amazing. Well, that's taken me a long time to get. I mean, it only just scraped £20, and to be honest, it wouldn't have mattered if it was 10, 15, whatever. It was a bigger fish than any of the fish I've ever caught here before on the main lake, and that was what I was after. Just a little cherry on top of the cake for it to be a 20. To be honest, I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna have to watch this video back, because that fish was so quick out the water and over there and back in again. I genuinely can't imagine in my mind what the fish even looked like, which is a bit of a shame really, but I didn't care. I want the fish back in. Yeah, and maybe this is why filming your catch sometimes, and taking photographs certainly, is really important. The fish may only be in your hands for a minute or two or three, so getting a nice picture or a video of the fish is really important sometimes, so you've got that little memory to take back with you. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on, have a little sit down, because although I've calmed down a bit now, the excitement and adrenaline, I need a little bit of a sit down. I'll re-watch this video on my phone and just appreciate that lovely carp. Right guys, I've had a little wander around this bank here on this side over to the little pagoda, and it's too breezy this side to really do any float fishing. Well, not float fishing, what am I on about? Floater fishing for carp. The wind's just kept chopping in, and I can't see any fish moving about, but Wow, what a session. What a session. Been coming here all these years, and finally I've broken my 20-pound carp cherry on the main lake. Absolutely made up about it. I've just been speaking to another angler walking around. There's lots of 20s in here, lots and lots and lots of them. It's a good place to come if you want to catch a 20. So get on down here if you're after that carp itch. I'm just really glad I finally did it. I'd like to say it was about time. But I'd say honestly, I really don't fish for the carp when I'm down here very often. There's far too many magical, colourful fish here. But I honestly, I forget all about them. There's lots of carp waters near me. In fact, I think people would struggle to name a venue that doesn't have a carp in. That includes the rivers, of course. But yeah, fantastic. I'm absolutely made up. Absolute magic. Oh well, but the next thing to do is to try and get a 20 out of the Specimen Carp lake. I don't know if I'll try that this week, but I've tried it before and failed miserably. Well, not miserably, I did catch a carp, but it was only a little wee thing. But I must admit, now I've caught that, I would like to catch a 20 out of the Specimen Carp lake. Yeah, I'm still a bit like shell-shocked, if I'm honest with you. I'm surprised it happened so quickly. I've only been down here for, well, now probably about 3 hours. Great. I honestly thought, and I said it in the video, I'm sure, honestly thought, but with this really windy, wet weather and the chop on the water, that I was absolutely mad trying to floater fish. I keep saying that, don't I? Surface fish for them. But there you go. He who dares wins, Rodney. And I dared and I won. Yes. How exciting. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me here on the main carp lake, the oldest lake at Angler's Paradise. And I will see you again next time on the bank after you've liked this video and subscribe to my channel for more fishy content. See you next time. Bye.